Boris Johnson, the Mayor of London, Tidjane Thiam, the Chief Executive Officer for Prudential, David Hodge, the leader of Surrey County Council, Hugh Brasher, Board Director for London and Surrey Cycling Partnership, and last but by no means least, Laura Trott, the double Olympic gold medalist and Prudential Ride London-Surrey. Welcome Rob Devey, the Chief Executive Officer for Prudential UK, Ben Plowden, Director at Transport for London, Ian Edmondson, Head of Major Events at London and Partners, Mick Bennett, Race Director of the Prudential Ride London-Surrey Classic, and Seb Coe, the Olympic Legacy Ambassador. The format for today's press conference is as follows. Firstly, we'll hear from each of the top table about today's announcements as we look ahead to what will be a significant sporting event right here in London, just 12 months on from the Olympic Games. I'll then ask Laura a few quick questions on why she's decided to get involved with this event and what she's been up to since last summer, which I think went pretty well, didn't it? I think we can all agree on that. The top table will then be open to questions from the floor, so if you'd like to ask a question, please raise your hand and one of the Prudential team will come round and hand you the microphone, so please wait for the microphone when we get to that point. The formal part of the press conference will then end, and Boris, Tidjane, David, Hugh, Mick and Laura will go downstairs onto the terrace outside for a quick photo shoot. After that, they will be available for media interviews. Now, any members of the media wanting an interview after the press conference, please make your way downstairs to the David Sainsbury room. And if I could also ask anyone who isn't from the media to just stay in this room or the one next door once we've got the press conference out of the way. So, let's crack on then. I'd now like to ask Boris Johnson, the Mayor of London, to speak first.
Thank you very, very much, Simon. Good morning, everybody. I think it was, roughly speaking, correct me if I'm wrong, it's all in my book, which I don't have with me. I think it was about 200 years ago that a Covent Garden coachmaker called Dennis Johnson, no relation, took a primitive German hobby horse and added the vital metal fellow, I think the correct term is, and thereby was decisive in the invention of the bicycle. And that's why we claim the bicycle for London. But I don't think that there has been a year for cycling in London or indeed any other city quite like 2012. Would you agree? First of all, we had Bradley Wiggins winning the Tour de France. Then, of course, the astonishing events of the Olympic and Paralympic Games. Team GB, Paralympic GB, they won more medals for cycling, I think, and correct me if I'm wrong, almost certain of this, more medals than any team has ever won before in the history of cycling. Is that right? Yeah. It is right. Yeah, see, I was very confident of that statistic as I began that sentence, and I remain confident. More medals than any other team. You're seeing huge increases, partly inspired by those astonishing triumphs in cycling in London. More and more people, in spite of the weather, more people are using the hire bikes, more people are cycling on our streets. And the question really for us was, could we come up with an event that would top 2012? Could we think of a way of taking cycling further? And I think that this astonishing Ride London, Ride Surrey event, Ride London event sponsored by the crew is going to fit the bill. It's a fantastic feast of the velocipede, ladies and gentlemen. There's the family event, number one, the family event. Number two, the Ride 100 miles, what's it called, Ride 100 miles?
Ride London-Surrey.
The Ride London-Surrey, that's it. The Ride London-Surrey for 100 miles, into which I have been conscripted. The circuit race, in which we're very lucky to confirm that Laura and others will perform, goes down the Mall all the way, starting with Olympic Park, going down the Mall, all those fantastic venues will be up in lights, and I think the BBC have agreed to film the thing. Fantastic. It's going to be a massive, massive event. And then the Men's Road Classic. I think it will be a truly fantastic event. event, it will be the equivalent in the cycling world of the marathon, except it's going to be, in my view, even more exciting. And I want particularly to thank Surrey County Council for everything they've done to make it possible. But above all, I want to thank our sponsors, Prue, Tijan on my right, for his imagination and his generosity with his shareholders' money. You won't regret it for a minute, Tijan, and over to you now. Thank you.
Thank you. Well, thank you. Thank you, Simon. Thank you, Boris. We are all aware of Boris's interest in cycling, and I'm afraid nobody can look quite as dashing wearing the bicycle helmet. So I'm impressed by the mayor's commitment to ensuring that what we all did last year, the 2012 Olympics, and their success continues and lives on. And Prudential is very proud and delighted to be able, with the blessing of our shareholders, to contribute to this success. London 2012 was an unforgettable occasion. I have said this, I was probably among a large number of skeptics, and I've been probably wrong. I was. Sebastian Coe here. It was a fantastic success, absolutely fantastic, amazing, unforgettable moment, and it's really important, I think, as Londoners, that we keep this going. And Ride London is a wonderful opportunity to do that. The benefits of cycling are well known. As an insurance company, we do everything we can to promote healthy living and good habits in society. So it's a very good thing for Londoners, it's a good thing for the environment, fighting congestion, pollution. So all those are things that we're very, very happy to support. I know I probably will be asked the question, so I should say here that I don't cycle. And the main reason is that I overzealous practice of football and basketball managed to destroy both my knees. Right? I can walk and that's about it. In spirit, I am considered a cyclist, I think. And I support Rob, who's my CEO in the UK, and is a triathlete, a complete triathlete and cyclist. So we're very, very happy to participate again. It's not only this event, a celebration of cycling, it's also a celebration of London. Prudential is an international group. We are in Asia, in the US, in the UK. I have the privilege of flying to Lansing, Michigan this afternoon, where it's minus 16 Celsius. So we are all over the planet, but we were born here. London is our birthplace. Our company was created in 1888 in London. It's our headquarters, and we are hopefully, the EU permitting, a proud citizen of London, and very happy to help the mayor in his development plans for a wonderful city. So what we're announcing today is actually a long-term partnership with Ride London to create a lasting legacy that fits with that view of London and of the capital.
Thank you very much.
We'll now hear from David Hodge, the leader of Surrey County Council, about Surrey's involvement.
Thank you, Simon. Can I just start by saying what an honour it is for Surrey to be involved in such a prestige event. Thank you to the Mayor's team for the way they have worked closely with Surrey and our officers on so many occasions. And again, we will do that in the future. And I look forward to us continuing to do more work together as we go on. Because I know the Mayor is always striving to get the best deal for London, I'm always also trying to get the best deal for the people of Surrey. And I believe we together can go some way in delivering those aims by working together as one team. I'd also like to thank Tijan and the Prudential for their excellent and outstanding sponsorship of this race. As the leader of Surrey County Council, I have shared the Mayor of London's vision for celebration of cycling from day one. We both wanted to build on the rip-roaring success of the Olympic events. And I think we are well on the way to delivering the legacy to be proud of, a legacy that everyone talked about. But I believe today, the Mayor and I, with Tijan, are going to be able to deliver that legacy, the first people to do it. About 2/3 of the Ride London-Surrey 100 and the Classic event will take place in Surrey, providing a very tough test. And I think the Surrey Hills will once again be the star of the show, just as they were during the Olympic event. And I have to say that the the likes of Leeds Hill, aren't for the faint-hearted. Quite nice hills. So if you're taking part, get training. Sorry, I was saying that to Boris. In this one event, London and Surrey will showcase the very best of Britain to the world. From Big Ben to Box Hill, the glamour of London's cityscape will contrast perfectly with the beautiful Surrey countryside. And I, for one, can't wait for the world to see our beautiful county and the beautiful city, the outstanding city in the world, in my opinion, of London, once again. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
I'd now like to invite Hugh Brasher, Board Director of Event Organisers, London and Surrey Cycling Partnership, to say a few words.
So I'm delighted to be here today, less than 6 months after the Olympics, inspired and I believe actually created the next generation. I think that was something that Mr. Mayor spoke about. Yeah, absolutely. I think my wife is actually a testament to that. Yes. Prudential Ride London is born today, and I'm delighted to be on stage with Tijan and Prudential, who's a 165-year-old company, and it's a British company with such a great heritage, who are committed to supporting and growing what will be an absolute amazing festival of cycling, and that we're convinced will, in the years to come, inspire this and future generations to take up the sport and become the next Bradley Wiggins and, dare I say, Laura Trott. In the same way that the Mini London Marathon helped inspire David Weir, Alistair Brownlee and Mo Farah to become household names with their gold medal winning exploits in London 2012, we're convinced that Prudential Ride London will follow the same path, and that the gold winning medalists of the 2028 Olympiad, goodness knows where that's going to be, will start their journey to success on the 3rd of August in the Prudential Ride London Free Cycle and Grand Prix events. I'm also delighted to say that 55,000 people already registered to ride in the inaugural Prudential Ride London-Surrey 100 event. And from today, they're getting either accepted or rejected magazines in the post. I think I know which one I prefer to be having. Mind you, I have tried to cycle up Leith Hill, and it really is, as David Hodge says, it's a very interesting experience. It will need a lot of training for people. But the unlucky 40,000 will still have a chance to get in the event through the over 5,000 guaranteed charity places that are available. And it will in turn help us on our journey to become the largest charity fundraising cycle event in the world. I'm now going to pass you over to my colleague Mick Bennett, himself a double bronze medalist from the 72 and 76 Olympics, and our race director, who will run you through this absolutely superb route of the Prudential Ride London-Surrey 100 and Classic events. Mick, over to you.
Thank you, Hugh. If you could do the honours for me. Before we do start, at the back of the press packs there is a map of the route, so if you get those out it would help you follow. And Hugh, try to keep up, you're not on the bike now, so... Mr. Mayor, ladies and gentlemen, there can be no better venue than to start this first Prudential Ride London 100 and Classic than at the very heart of the Olympic Games at the Queen Elizabeth Olympic Park, and I'm sure we'll all agree. And I've been to several Olympics. I have no doubt in my mind that it was the best Olympic Games ever. Thank you, sir. On the 4th of August, 20,000 lucky cyclists, or unlucky cyclists, Boris, no offence, 20,000 cyclists.
How can this be?
20,000 cyclists will depart between the hours of 6 and 8 in the morning, north of the park, exiting onto the A12. It's the first time the A12 has been totally closed for a duration of about 2 hours, which will enable the easy flow out of the park. It will, what we call, neutralise for about 2 miles before we begin the ride proper itself. And I'll come to the classic element at the very end of this. We go south on the A12 towards the river, joining the 2103 at Tower Hamlets, on through the City of London, passing Tower Bridge and the Tower of London, and many iconic landmarks, all the way down the embankments, all the way through to Northumberland Avenue. We take a northerly route up Northumberland Avenue to Trafalgar Square, out through the Mall, out through Pall Mall, onto Kensington and Chelsea, with the Natural History Museum on our right-hand side. We then uniquely have managed to close the Hammersmith flyover, because we're on the A4, and that's the first. To cyclists, and it's the only real climb up to that point. If you're struggling, Boris, it is one hell of a drag. We then go through Hammersmith and Fulham all the way down to Chiswick, over Chiswick Bridge, going south now into East Sheen and entering Richmond Park at Sheen Gate, all the way around the park to what we term now as infamously being called Cancellara Corner, where the Swiss rider of the same name threw away his chances of winning the Olympic road race. Exiting at Kingston Gate, and interestingly, in planning this route with Gary McGowan and Kevin Nash and the whole team that managed to pull this route together, the biggest problem we had was that the outgoing classic riders would contraflow with the incoming 100 riders. And we've just got a short section in Kingston of about half a mile where that will happen. That is a feat in itself, so congratulations to those guys. We go straight through to Hampton Court, over Kingston Bridge, straight through to Hampton Court, and we dip into Surrey at this point. So we're leaving the 13 boroughs of London behind with their closures, dipping into the wonderful county of Surrey. And Hampton Court will be our first hub, which will be the first of 3 business relay handover points. More about that later. At the business relay handover points, the riders at this stage will be able to replenish food, water, any medical requirements they may need at this stage, Boris. And mechanical assistance will be available at these hubs. We then trace the very part of the time trial route that Bradley Wiggins put time into, Tony Martin, the German rider, the Silver Medalist. So we're on the time trial route all the way through to Walton-on-Thames, dropping down into Weybridge very fast at this stage, but nothing too difficult for the riders. And we're now onto the Olympic road race course. Into Byfleet, well on the Olympic road, we're very, very flat up to this stage. Coming down towards Ripley, keep up Hugh, over the A3, and this is where it starts to drag. And we're into absolutely stunning countryside towards West Horsley and the Sheepleys. And then dropping down from West Horsley onto the A25, you'll remember the road race turn left here up Staples Lane. We're actually going a little bit further on at this stage, climbing up Newlands Corner, which is a climb of about 15%, and it is the first real test of the whole route. It's a brute, about 1.5 kilometres long. But there's refreshments at the top. It's our second hub and the second business relay point of changeover. Again, we'll have all the facilities there to cope with the masses. An amazing descent down the A25 with the Sheepleys to our left, Sheer and Albury to our right-hand side. Very, very fast, long, straight road. Excellent condition. And we're at about halfway before we approach Abinger Hammer. And this, as we turn right towards Holbury St Mary, is where it really starts to get tough. The roads are narrow, sinewy, completely undulating, not for the faint-hearted, but stunningly beautiful, stunningly beautiful. Dropping down to Forest Green, where the 100 goes left, and if the The previous part of the route through Holmbury was tough. When they turn left, they've got a 14% 4-kilometre climb of Leith Hill. The descent off Leith Hill is absolutely stunning. It's almost like something out of The Hobbit or a Tolkien novel. Massive tree canopy, beautiful, very, very fast, one of the fastest descents. And incidentally, Leith Hill is the highest point in Surrey. It's not Box Hill, it's Leith Hill. Dropping down through Westcott, very fast roads now, back onto the A25, in through Dorking, to the Dorking Cockerel, where we go left onto the road race course, the Olympic road race course again. Up, approaching Box Hill, which is one of the stings in the tail, but not the final nail in the coffin. So up Box Hill, one passenger Box Hill, down through Headley Heath, very fast descent now, getting slightly, the route does start to ease off a little bit. On through Leatherhead, again, the third of our business relay hub, so another changeover point for the people involved in the business relay to replenish, have assistance, etc. We're very, very fast now, all the way through to Cobham, pausing ever so slightly, said, at Chelsea's training ground, to doff our caps and give them our sympathies. Right now, onto the Portsmouth Road, all the way through Esher, fast but difficult. In through Kingston, out through Merton, Rains Park, into Wimbledon, up Wimbledon Hill with the common on our left-hand side. This is the final climb of the whole route. Over the top of the A3, very fast now and flat over Putney Bridge, right the way along the river, the Chelsea embankment, approaching Parliament Square from the south side, northbound up Whitehall to Trafalgar Square, entering through Admiralty Arch, through the centre of the arch, an iconic picture shot. And 500 metres from there, facing Buckingham Palace, will be the finish line. And it is the exact same line that the Olympic road race finish line, but coming in from Constitution Hill. Total closures, one hell of a feat by the guys that did it. Just briefly on the Classic will have a 3.5 to 4 hour window behind, so approximately 12 o'clock on the Sunday afternoon, the Classic, 150 riders, the likes of Mark Cavendish and the Bradley Wiggins of this world, will depart on a route through Westfield and Stratford, deneutralising. They will not start racing until we get to Canary Wharf. They then start racing. They follow the exact same route, but if we drop down to the circuit, the pros will do an additional loop from Forest Green to Ockley. They'll cover that loop 3 times, so it's 3 climbs of Leith Hill before they run through on the exact same route to finish on the exact same location as the 100. Thank you very much, everybody.
Have a very quick look at the route itself, which we've just had the first opportunity to see. Looks a long way, doesn't it, even when you just look at it on the screen like that. If I could just turn to you now, Laura. I don't know whether you're aware of this, but 6 months ago today, you were about to win your second gold medal at the velodrome in what was an unforgettable summer for all of us. I guess things have changed a little bit for you in the last 6 months. I mean, how has your life changed since then?
Oh, for sure, yeah. I mean, to start with, straight after the games, it was just mad. And because you have to get used to people actually recognising you, which was pretty crazy. But yeah, I mean, for me, obviously, it wasn't just about winning the gold medals. It was about creating the legacy and keeping what we got from the games going.
The L word's an important one, isn't it? Legacy. We hear it mentioned a lot. I can sort of relate to that with my family. They were on the roadside when Bradley Wiggins won his road time trial. They were on at Isha throughout the day. They were there in Olympic Park, watching on the big screen when you won the team pursuit with Danny King and Joanna Rousel. And since then, my 9-year-old has been saying to me, Dad, you know, can you take me out for a bike ride? Can we go cycling? My 13-year-old, she's not into cycling, but she does far more physical exercise than she did 12 months ago. I mean, surely this is the legacy in action. And I feel that events like this can only reinforce that. I mean, if you did look ahead from London, is this sort of festival, is this what you thought legacy would look like?
Oh, for sure, yeah. I mean, obviously when it first got said that we wanted to leave a legacy, I just didn't really know how they were going to do that. And I mean, to put an event on like this is just massive. And for me, like, I want to be a part of it because it's about getting people out on their bikes and seeing people enjoy it as much as I do. And obviously because the age range is huge, it's just about getting out there and just having fun.
Some athletes talk about the things they want to achieve. You know, it's about medals and records, and they say, well, I don't see myself as a role model. I just do what I do, and it's for other people to sort of judge me on my performance. But do you see things slightly differently?
Yeah, in a way. I mean, because obviously for me, I was in the era where Chris Hall and Victoria Pendleton were my heroes, and I really did look up to them. And then when I met Bradley Wiggins for the first time, and he hung his Olympic gold medal around my neck, like for me that was a massive deal. And it was just nice to always have somebody to look up to. So if I can inspire like the younger generation, like they inspired me, then yeah, that's what I want to do.
Well, we're lucky to have Laura with us today because the World Track Cycling Championships in Minsk are just a couple of weeks away. You're a world champion, a defending world champion as well as an Olympic champion. How are things shaping up for that? Because I notice there's a slightly different look to your team pursuit squad this time.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, we've got a new girl in our team, Eleanor Barker, but she's doing extremely well. And I mean, it's all coming together now. Obviously, I did Glasgow straight after the games, which went terribly. So yeah, I mean, it's all coming together again now. So yeah, really looking forward to it.
Thank you, Laura. Wish you every success in Minsk in a couple of weeks' time. The top table up to the floor, so if you've got a question that you'd like to ask, can you raise your hand and we'll bring the microphone over to you so you can ask your question of anyone on the top table. Anyone with their hand up?
Matthew Beard from the Evening Standard. Boris, I wonder if you could talk us through your training plans.
They're at the moment undeveloped, but I will be a chiseled wicket by then.
Do you respect the distance though? It's quite a big ask. It's, as you said,
yes.
equivalent of doing a marathon.
To be honest, I wasn't. I'm in for it now. So, it looks like a piece of cake. What sort of training do you need?
Fairly extensive, I would say. So we'll help you go on the training plan.
Okay. Well, I said I'll do it.
You should have heard what he said, but every time a hill came up on the screen, another one.
Can you just get the microphone over to the back there, please?
It's Owen Gibson here from The Guardian. Question for Boris. I wonder actually if you might like to try to do it on Boris' bike as well.
Well, that was Laura's suggestion. I think that would be an excessive. Well, someone's got to do it on one of those. You better find someone to do it on one of those things.
You're perfect. You can do it.
I'm very confident I could do it. I'm just not certain how long it would take. That's the truth. I mean, how long, is there a maximum time allowed?
Yeah, there is a cut-off, and I think with all due respect to Mr. Mayor, he has got a pretty busy schedule, so there is a cut-off on this of 9 hours, and you know, I do know that he is prepared to.
It looks about 9 hours.
Yeah, but Yeah, I think it's an incredibly difficult ask. We are asking people to really prepare for this, and we would love Mr. Mayor to do it, but I think not trying to.
You're trying to talk me out of it.
I'm just trying to say that it's
trying to be tactful.
I'm trying to be tactful.
Well, so that's the wrong psychological approach.
My more serious question is, this is obviously an event which involves the Olympic Park. How important is it to get that park open and busy and back in the hands of Londoners?
This is one of the great things about this event, is it's going to be one of the, I think, the first opportunity everybody has to get back into our park, and that's why I think it's going to be a sensational moment and very, very exciting for the whole city. You're going to see an awful lot going on round about that time. I'm very confident that the celebrations, the one-year anniversary celebrations, will be very exciting. You'll have read about some of the concerts and so on that will be taking place in the park. Then and the Diamond League athletics also will be happening then, and there'll be a very good story to tell, I believe, about the things that we've got from the games a year on. And there'll be about the volunteering legacy, about the sporting legacy, but of course, above all, about what's happening in East London and the changes that the Games have helped to deliver there. And I think it'll be an opportunity for people to look at what's happening already in the park, to speculate about, and we'll explain about what's envisaged, but also at the transformation that it is helping to produce in East London. So that, I think it'll be a great moment. On the venues and what's happening with all, everybody knows that at the moment 6 of the 8 venues of the Olympic venues have their future secure. In fact, 7 if you think about what's happening with the IBC. NBC got British Telecom already there now. Fantastic investment in the old media broadcast centre. A real future for that, and on the stadium, which I know everybody follows very keenly, I think we're in a good place. Obviously we're in London, where it's going well.
Hi, Ruth McLean from the Times. I'm just wondering, the elite part is just for men, is that right? And why is that? And how do you feel about that, Roy?
Yeah, the reason for that is it's a 1.1 UCI calendar event, and those are actually events for men. So that is the rules, and those are the ones we're following. We have the Grand Prix event, which is for women. We also have a great number of women partaking in the 100 side of it. So we actually, there's that side of it, and then finally we are looking in the future at what we can do to maybe hold a women's event on a similar course. So that's for the future, definitely not for now.
And also, how much is it costing, and is Prudential covering the whole cost?
No, the costs are effectively totally underwritten by the London-Surrey Cycling Partnership. Prudential are an important part of that, as are the riders who are paying money to enter. But no, the risk is entirely with us.
Okay. And how much is it costing?
That is for us to know, and it's not information. It's not actually information that we release. So it's good value. It is unbelievable. We're the ones that are live.
In terms of the revenue, the tourist site and all the rest of it, it represents sensational value.
You also have to realise that the event itself, the one that the Ride London-Surrey Classic, will have the opportunity for riders to ride for local charities close to our health. And that in itself will raise a substantial sum. One doesn't know how it will start off in the first year. But I believe that many organisations will be able to sign up, ride for a charity, send us to the London Marathon, and I believe that would be really great for local communities. That's what it's about as well.
And for us as a company, we always try to do things that benefit the communities where we are everywhere, and we're very comfortable spending money and convince the return to the excellence. A lot of it.
Yeah. Any more questions?
The question for Hugh. queue. This is getting 20,000 participants on their bikes to East London for 6 o'clock in the morning is a big ask. Can you promise a glitch-free event for those people?
We are absolutely working with all the traffic planners and TfL to ensure that it is glitch-free. And as you say, it is an interesting challenge and one that we're very up for. I mean, I think our 32 years experience of organising the London Marathon, I think the Sweet Spots experience of organising the top professional events in this country, together we are, I have to say, I think the perfect delivery partner for this event, and absolutely will ensure that that is the case.
Just one over there. There's a microphone just here. So just one more quick question for Laura, if that's okay. Obviously we've had lots of success at elite level in cycling over the last 2 Olympics, and obviously Bradley's exploits in the Tour. But do you feel like we're on our way to becoming a cycling nation now in the same way as we look upon some of our sort of continental neighbours?
Oh, for sure, yeah. And I feel like this is only going to make things even better. And obviously, for me, like Netherlands, like they seem to get it right. Like they get everybody on their bikes and riding, and like having it in the city here in London. What more can you want? This is just the start of it, and obviously this is the first year, and hopefully this will run for many years and just help keep developing that.
Time for one final question, if anyone's got one. Yes, I'm just in the middle there.
Richard Abraham from Cycling Weekly magazine. So as a question to Hugh in particular, we saw how many fans came out for the Olympic cycling events and along the Ride side. How many do you expect to come out for this event, and do you have any plans to accommodate them in particular?
Yeah, again, that's the whole support side of it is a great part of it, and the inspiration from people watching it. So again, we're working on plans with that, with Surrey, with London, with the various different communities on the route. So spectator engagement and spectator enjoyment will be a big part of it, and absolutely that's what we're doing.
We in Surrey, when the Olympic 2 days was on, the men's and the ladies, it was unbelievable the amount of community groups that came out and supported the riders. You know, even some people at house bring out drinks and food, etc. Unfortunately, I never seem to get any of that food when I bring it out. But it's really important that the community actually supported the race, and we had nearly 500 million people watching.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. That concludes the formal part of this press conference. Can I ask